really three ways to acquire customers: who has the experience to do it, not just some kid who took a course online of how to spin up your own AI agency. Like, I have the best olive oil in the market. And it's like, okay, well, prove it to me. Everybody that I know wants to meet JJ. Everybody wants to meet her. Take away that kind of roller coaster effect in the revenue so that it's steady growth.
Take notes, listen to it again. This is how I've scaled to multiple seven figures, is by doing exactly what Amber's talking about. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Pivot to Profit. We have the amazing Amber Spears here today to share all things people and networking and connections. What's up, girl?
What's up? Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am so pumped to have you. Let me officially introduce you. Amber Spears is recognized in the industry as a thought leader in the affiliate marketing arena. As a coach and speaker, she is the co-founder of East 4th Avenue, a world-class affiliate management education and marketing company, and the founder of Four Rooms Mastermind. What's up, girl? Let's do
What's
it.
up? Ah, I'm excited.
I'm so excited. You and I crossed paths probably about a year and a half ago. And then this year I joined Four Rooms as a member. So super excited to have you here to share your story, because you are definitely a super connector and you know everybody in this world. So super amazing. But before we dive into all of that, Amber, my first question is, what did you want to be when you grew up? As like
Oh,
7-year-old Amber, what were her dreams and hopes?
I wanted to be a veterinarian is because I love animals. That was my dream. And I was homeschooled, so I never learned math or science. I know money math. So that definitely wasn't gonna work for me. Going to school. And I also realized too, like, if you're a vet, a lot of times you're gonna be seeing animals in distress,
Hmm.
which is something that like I knew would hurt my heart. So that was not my path in this lifetime for sure.
So little Amber was like, I want to help the animals. And then grown up Amber was like, I don't want to see a hurting animal. This is
Exactly. 100%. And I don't think I'd have enough like acumen to actually pass all the medical stuff.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So then the next question is, you grew up in a homeschool environment. Dad was an entrepreneur, also pastor. Like, what were you taught about money? What was little Amber taught? Is money good, evil, bad? Do you want it? Do you not want it? All of those things.
Well, my dad, to say he's an entrepreneur, a successful one is a stretch. He definitely wasn't a successful. I think he's successful now. But certainly when I was growing up, that wasn't the case. He was struggling. So, also just like one of those fundamentalist style Christians that money is the root of all evil. Making money is hard. I heard that a lot growing up. Money was very scarce. So that's definitely the background that I come from, and definitely it's one of the things I've had to work on so hard as an entrepreneur is like my relationship with money, and the idea that money is an exchange of value and energy as opposed to something that's like really scarce, and learning to be a good steward of money because I certainly didn't see that when I was young. So it's one of my favorite things about having Four Rooms Mastermind and being around all these successful entrepreneurs like you, because then I have an opportunity to see other windows into other people's beliefs, right?
Yeah.
And to see that there's some people who like don't believe that, and they have a very different relationship with money, and that's also possible for me and anybody else that's listening.
Yeah, I love it. And it is amazing how what we're taught about money as a kid shapes our mindset as entrepreneurs and shapes our business and our relationship with money and what we think we can become. And a lot of entrepreneurs still haven't done the work. And those that have, you can tell. You can
Yeah.
tell they overcame those beliefs or those thought processes that were put in them, not by their choice, to realize, no, it is energy. It brings impact, it brings freedom, and it
Yeah.
doesn't control you. It's not good or bad.
Yeah, I definitely think that whole thing, money doesn't buy happiness, is not true. It definitely buys peace of mind, in a huge way. And I'd much rather have money than not have money. I grew up really, really poor, and I do think a lot of the things that a lot of people unfortunately stress about when you have a certain level of success, you don't have that, and that stress makes you unhappy.
Yeah,
And it's a very, very powerful tool.
I love it. So let's talk about your journey, Amber. You know a lot of big names. How did you, it's not like your name is in neon on, Times Square, but a lot of people whose name is know you, right? So you're kind of, I don't know, the magician behind the curtain kind of situation, being making all the connections. So like, how did you become that person? How did you start your in entrepreneurial journey where you know these big names and have these people in your Rolodex or cell phone to be able to call and reach out and have this influence? How did you just, obviously, you don't wake up one day and be able to call these types of people. So, how did you create those connections and start that journey?
Good question. I think probably two things that come to mind. One is I'm really good at spotting talent and trends. So I'd find a lot of these people that are very well known now, and just really believed in them and could see that they had something that I didn't see in the market, or they had a vision that I didn't see. One person I can think of many, was one of my friends, Ari Whitten, who's now one of the leading kind of like biohacking minds in the space, or Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, or, any of these people that I met very early. I could just tell that they were markedly different and really, really smart. But even before that, I got my career in kind of entrepreneurship and selling, around search engine optimization. Like I was a first generation low income college student, and I was a McNair scholar and a Dorn scholar, and I was the first non-business major admitted to the Eller College of Business. Now, so many non-business majors are admitted, but I remember my professor, who he was an adjunct professor, had sold his company for hundreds of millions of dollars, and someone asked him, like, if you've already sold your company, you've already had your success, like if you were starting from scratch, starting from today, what would you be doing? And he said, like, I do SEO. And no one knew what he was talking about. And he was like, right now you guys are using MapQuest to, like, find, if you remember this, right?
Sure.
MapQuest to find, directions, which is better than a map that you used to use. But like, right now you guys are using Google to use your research papers. That's just the tip of the spear. I think you're going to be using Google for so many things, restaurants, to find restaurants, to get driving directions. And it's an algorithm. And so if you can figure out how to hack into that algorithm, or manipulate the algorithm, or work with the algorithm through SEO, like, I think that's the future of business and marketing. And I was like, oh, that's a trend that I understand. And I
Yeah.
could see that, like, Dex and Yellow Pages were already pretty antiquated, right? Like, who's driving around with, as a salesperson, you're driving around trying to find business from this. And so I jumped on that trend very, 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 very early, and started selling search engine optimization door to door for $75 an hour to businesses that did not want it and did not understand
Yeah.
really what I was talking about. So that's been like a trend my whole career, is like identifying trends and people that I feel like are special, unique, important, have an important voice. And I'm very comfortable being like a number two cheerleader and advocate. I have no problems. Like, once I believe in the mission, being an evangelist, like in that sense. And, I made them a lot of money. And all my clients, for the most part, I didn't have a 100% success rating, but a better rating than most, because I could identify, trends very early. Like, energy is going to be a really important topic. Muscle building is going to be a very important topic in health. Bitcoin is going to be an important topic. Like, very early on, kind of identifying what types of things and people I wanted to back, and I choose to back, really, like, as healthy as possible, that are good people, right? I
Yeah.
think that's the other thing is really important to me, is if I'm going to spend my time advocating and evangelizing for somebody, that they're a really good person. And so just been very fortunate, and also putting myself in the right rooms. Like, I met, Gabrielle, who's a friend, she's my doctor,
Yeah.
met her through JJ Virgin. I also met Ari Whitten through JJ Virgin. I met Dave Asprey through JJ Virgin. Like, I met so many of my top health clients through her. And, really understanding that you put yourself in a room and you're valuable to them,
Yeah.
and that's like the main thing that served me really, really well my whole career.
From SEO door to door to East Fifth Avenue and Four Rooms, was that a quick transition? Was there 50,000 versions of Amber in there? What did that look like?
So many. That's such a good question. So I was employee number one at that SEO company.
Mm-hmm.
And then started rainmaking there. And eventually they promoted me to manager. Quick tip for most business owners: most salespeople are not going to be good managers. I certainly wasn't one, and I hated it.
Yes.
I like I like the freedom that came from being able to kind of set my own schedules, all commission, and then being in an office every single day, learning how to manage people. It's a whole totally different skill set, and it burnt me out. And so after like a couple years, eventually were selling packages for hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. It
Yeah.
grew very quickly, but I was like, I need something different. Asked them to let me step down as a manager and get my old book of business, and they said no. So I was like, well, I gotta do something else. I'm not starting from scratch. I ended up finding a long form sales page that talks about they're gonna teach me the greatest secret, is early to rise, and ended up moving my whole life from Phoenix to Denver to take that opportunity. And I was learning how to be a copywriter, is really what it was. Started learning copy, started learning marketing, and wasn't very good at it. I mean, I'm a good writer, but I like talking to people. So again, it's just like trying things. I think when you're young, you try things, and
Yeah.
you really should. And I realized very quickly that wasn't the right role for me at that company. But now here I'm stuck in Denver, Colorado, making way less money than I ever made. I was used to making multiple six figures a year as a salesperson. I had a $22,500 base plus commission. I was not making any commission. I blew through all that money very quickly. And they said, "Hey, we have an affiliate program here. You have a lot of background in sales. Do you want to take it over?" And I did, and I exploded it. And so it made sense to me though, because partnerships to me, we've talked about this before, but like when you talk about affiliate marketing or partnership marketing or strategic partnerships or anything like that, I think they're really valuable because for two reasons. There's really three ways to acquire customers. There's paid media, running Facebook ads, like running, YouTube ads, running whatever it is. So you're paying the algorithm to ding the credit card, right? So that's one way of acquiring customers. Second way is earned media. Your PR, press releases, your organic reach, like, all that. And the third way is strategic partnerships. And I think that's a very firm table leg to put into the business. Most business owners overlook it. And it's just really, really powerful way of acquiring customers because you're typically not paying for it up front. You're paying for it after you collect the money, or you're, taking the trust that someone else has built with their audience, and you're receiving that trust transfer from them. But I think at the core of it, it's really solving problems. It's most people's problems are usually not a what problem, it's a who. Even like looking at this stuff with AI that's happening right now, everyone's talking about it, right? And you might know what I need to do is implement AI into my business. But like what you really need is who can implement it into my business.
Yeah.
Like who's trustworthy, who's actually going to understand the market, who understands the current tech stack that I'm working with, who's actually credible to put this in, who has the experience to do it, not just some kid who took a course online of how to spin up your own AI agency. Like you really need a true expert. And so, that's what I've done my whole career is like finding, whether it's like we have this huge product launch, who can help us get it to market. Okay, I can identify who those people are that have the audiences, that have the reach, that serve the same similar target avatar. That's what I can do. Or even inside of Four Rooms Mastermind, it's like who can help this particular client that's struggling with their meta ads, or that's struggling with, a bad hire, like who in this community can I connect them with and match them with to help them solve those problems. And I think that at the core is what I've based my whole career on.
People
People.
is your heart.
Yeah, it's definitely not ever the what. I think everyone gets so focused on the what. It's actually a who issue. It's like if you can find the who, then the how and the everything else, the what goes away because they already have that genius inside of them and they can solve it.
I love it. I love it. How do you measure the value or the ROI of those relationships? And how do you, when you're approaching clients, explain that leg of the stool? And as a business owner, that is my strongest leg. Like my referral partners and the partnerships and affiliates that I have are our strongest source of revenue. But how do you explain that in dollars and cents to people?
Such a good question because I think everyone tries to dollar and cents their relationships, right? And it's tangible and it's intangible. I think what's cool is what you just said shows how good your product is and how good you are at what you do because you wouldn't be getting a high volume of referrals and partnerships unless you were actually good at that, right? And for me, that's always one of the biggest indicators if I'm going to work with a client. It's like they can tell me until they're blue in the face, "Oh, I have the best olive oil on the market." And it's like, "Okay, well, prove it to me. Show
Yeah.
me how many people are reordering." I'll look into their back end. I'll be like, "Wow, you have customers that have reordered 57 times, 11 times, 14 times, 28 times. Like you have a good product, right?" Or you can go on the back end of somebody and be like, they cancel after a month, they cancel after 2 months, they cancel after 3 months. Like this obviously is not working. when it comes to your customer acquisition or retention. So I love to hear that you have that because that's the most important thing. And that is one way that you can tangibly like quantify it, right? Like you can quantify it by we got X number of referrals that have turned into X number of clients that's led to X number of lifetime customer value. So that's one way to quantify it. But I think that's like the end outcome of all the work that you've done. You know, I always tell people like people come to me almost every single day. Hey Amber, can you connect me to like so and so? I'll give you like 10% commission. And I'm like, no, no, because I don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
I know nothing about you. How is this a net positive for the person that you want to be introduced to? Like, just to put into perspective, yes, I could fire off an email, and because it's coming from me, it's probably going to be answered. Okay. But like the way that you need to quantify it is I've spent 10 years paying, let's say JJ Virgin is the person they want to meet. Everybody that I know wants to meet JJ, right? Everybody wants to meet her because they know I'm friends with her and they know how valuable she is in her network. And I'm like, okay, but I sponsored her event 3 years in a row at the highest level, brought all my team out there, right? Like I think it was a $50,000 sponsorship 3 years in a row, plus all my team tickets, plus flights, plus everything. I have been in her community for 10 plus years. I paid for a ticket, $5,000 ticket every year outside the sponsorship years, which I paid even more for.
Yeah.
I've been, I've gone travel with her to different events. Like I go to dinners with her. She's a friend of mine. Like I'm very protective of her. Like if you just look at the time I've invested in this relationship, like you get to shortcut all of that because I'm giving you that connection. Like you don't understand like what you're asking for.
Yeah, that's a big ask.
Yeah, and then you screw it up and now that puts my relationship with her at risk because I'm giving you the trust transfer. So I think you kind of have to look at it like both tangibly in terms of like here's the revenue we're getting from referral partners, but the intangible stuff is the hours that you spent cultivating a relationship, the access that you've paid for to be in the rooms, like all that stuff is like really important that I think people tend to forget. And it's like so many people are like, I want to have these great connections, but I'm not willing to like plant the seed of the relationship and water it and tend to it. It's like I need my immediate ROI. And it's like, well, that's not how good relationships are built. Like we all know that if you go on a date with somebody, like this is a very common thing for men. It's like, do you think just because you paid for dinner for me that I'm gonna go home and
That
sleep with
something's
you?
gonna
Like,
happen.
what are we talking about here? Like, that's very similar to what I see in the entrepreneur community is like they're like, I paid to be in this mastermind or I paid to come to this event or I paid for this particular thing and I just want, I want the results right away. And it's like, dude, good relationships take time. And also, it's not just time of knowing you, it's like a little bit of trust. Like, I'm going to send you this referral and we'll see how it goes,
Yeah.
like, because this is my word, my trust transfer here. So I kind of need to understand, like, is this also a good referral partner for you? Because not every single person that I have in my Rolodex is going to be a fit for you. So just kind of really understanding it takes time to really get to know someone. It's just like an advertising agency, there's so many and they're like, we do TikTok, we do YouTube, we do SEO, we do whatever. And then you peel back the layers and you're like, actually, you're only really good at SEO.
Yeah.
So like you should just do SEO. Like yes, you can do all these other things, but you're a C minus at everything else and you're an A plus at this. So it's irresponsible of me to recommend my clients to you for TikTok. Like love you, you're a friend, but like let's be honest about what we're good at, what we're actually like really qualified to do and it takes a while to kind of to understand that.
Yeah. And that's where the relationships and the in-person time matter so much. And that's the power of Four Rooms and other masterminds is in these groups, when you walk in, if you come in and say, okay, great, I'm going to sell the room, you're going to fail. You
Yeah.
need to come in and bring value, connect with people, be vetted, make sure that, because I've been in groups where people come in and immediately they're just like landing page, scan this, get on my sales call. It's $10,000, 10,000. And it's like, dude,
All right. I
I
don't
don't
even know you.
right. Like, do you have a dog? Like, have a
Yeah.
drink. Like, let me understand who you are as a person. And when
Yeah.
you build those relationships, that's where the affiliate marketing piece and the referrals come in because I know and like and trust you. Therefore, I have no problem recommending you. And it's the
Yeah.
crawl before you walk. Like, you're not just going to give out JJ's cell phone number to somebody. Like,
No, I won't. I won't,
you got to make sure that it's worth, everyone's going to win in it.
Yeah. And I think too, like a practical thing, it's like people want to know, like, oh, how do you build these relationships? I'm very, very careful with them. Like, I'll give you an example. I had someone this morning reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm putting on this event in Bali. It's 3,000 people. It's like such a great opportunity. I know you have sponsors at your event. Do you think your sponsors would be interested in this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, tell me more about who's there. Oh, there's going to be these people." I'm like, "Is there e-commerce people there? Because maybe some of my, my fulfillment companies that work with e-commerce companies could be interested. They're always looking to sponsor new events." And she's like, "Great. Will you connect me?" I'm like, "No, send me the sponsor deck. Let me look at it." Right. I look at it and I see that even at the top level sponsorship, it's like $100,000 sponsorship and there's literally zero speaking opportunities. And I'm like, why would someone pay $100,000 to be on the screens at your event and like get a shout out from stage? Like, that's not like I wouldn't personally recommend that my person
Does
goes to
that?
that. It doesn't make sense, just from an investment perspective. Like this is not a good ROI for me to bring to somebody, whereas like most people are like, "Oh, happy to connect you," like bam, send it off. And I'm like, I'm constantly like, no, like let's think through this. Like I understand that you have a product or a service that's like a perfect fit for this person, but like, so many examples, like even for some of my health and wellness clients, it's like someone wants to meet, let's say it's Ari, who used to be a client, right? And it's like, "Oh, we have this amazing, red light therapy, and he talks about energy." And it's like, okay, well, I could connect you to him, but I know him well enough to know that he's going to roll out his own red light or he's going to roll out with his own probiotic. So this isn't actually a good fit for him right now. And like, that's why you need to ask questions. And once you see that and you kind of vet out each side. I think the next thing is like, if they wanted to meet JJ or they want to meet Ari, my next thing would be like, I understand what you're wanting and what you're paying, what you're willing to do. And I know them well enough to tell you they will or will not do that. But then I have to go get consent on the other side. I need to get consent from JJ. I need to get consent from Ari before I ever make an introduction. And my introduction is going to be detailed and I'm going to have consent on both sides. And it's going to be a very clear opportunity. And if I'm getting a cut for brokering a deal, that's also going to be included in there. It's going to be very clear so that like that's understood. And if I'm taking a bunch of my time to talk to you on the phone, to ask all these questions, to make sure that you say it's as good as you said it is. Because most of the time, I'm going to look at the back end, I'm going to try the product myself, I'm going to watch whatever thing, I'm going to experience it myself. And then I go and talk to this person and make sure it's good. I've done my due diligence, I've done my homework, and then I do it. Like it's going to be a much higher success rating, but I never just fire off an intro and like start that because like I think that's where people screw up all the time. Like they
Yeah.
think like a deal is a deal is a deal. I'm connecting them, so it's gonna be a great introduction. It's like people are busy, dude. Like if you need to make sure this is an opportunity that people want on that side, and that's why people trust me. So if I'm bringing something to them, they're like, okay, I know Amber's vetted it. I know she's tried it. I know she's looked into it. I know she's done her research. She knows my business. She sees that it's an opportunity that's gonna help me, and I'm willing to get on on a phone call with them because she's vetted it out, and that, I'm just really cautious that way.
Yeah. No, I love it. All right. So, say there's an entrepreneur who's relying heavily on paid ads and they want to start leveraging affiliate marketing. Where do they start? And referral partners and all of that. Where's a baseline to go to figure out how to do this? Because just shooting off emails, be like, "Hey, can you introduce me to JJ?" is not going to work.
No.
So, what do business owners need to do to start building a foundation for these referral and affiliate relationships?
Such a good question. I mean, I think a very easy thing is like don't reinvent the wheel. Like how much are you paying to acquire a customer on Facebook, wherever you're doing it, and then that will be what you pay out your affiliates. What most people do, a huge rookie mistake is they're like, I'm paying Facebook too much. I'm paying Facebook $100 lead, so I want to give my affiliate partners $25 a lead. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're literally willing to pay a face like Zuckerberg $100, and the person that you're gonna see at mastermind events and have dinner with, you're gonna pay them 25 when they probably paid Zuckerberg 100 to acquire that customer to send to you. Like, how does the math's not mathing,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, I think first and foremost, people who have a good paid media strategy are actually very well positioned to do really well in affiliate marketing because they already know their numbers and they have good marketing as it is. So I actually think they're my favorite people to work with because they have funnels, they usually have tracking, and so they kind of understand like what they're willing to pay to acquire a customer, and they have a good flow, and they have like good automations, and they have like a good process. So they're really good candidates. They're also some of the people that make me the most nervous because if they're 100% reliant on an algorithm, what I know for 100% certainty is that the algorithm will change. And then they come to me and they're like, please save me. And it's like, well, this is something that you should have started. Like the best time to start it was 5 years ago. And now the best time to start it is today. But like it's going to take you months to build a relationship because, what most people don't know because they're not on the back end of big affiliate programs, but I've been on the back end of like over 2,500 of them, is the top people that you want to work with. Let's say that there's 30 days in a calendar month that they could promote you on. It's going to be filled at least half of it, if not more, in internal promotions because they want to sell their customers more of their own products, right? Or more of
Yeah.
their own services. So that's going to be filled. And then the next slot is people that they've worked with for years. They're trusted referral partners. So like how quickly do you think this person's going to jump at the opportunity to work with you? You're going to have to stand in line, right? And so you got to have a proven program that's competitive first and foremost, not like what little amount you want to pay, but what's the max amount that you'd be willing to pay to acquire a customer. The conversion rate's usually going to be significantly higher than your Facebook ads because you're getting that trust transfer. Your lifetime customer value is usually going to be a little bit better too because you have that trust transfer. So you should feel confident at least giving what you're currently giving to Facebook, or YouTube. And then, the second part is the people, because when you're dealing with people, internally, you need to have a team that can actually move things forward and have customer service conversations. And externally, you need to pick carefully what people are going to be a part of your affiliate program and your referral program, because you might not have the right program or the right assets to work with them. And the last part is the process. I see a lot of people like, I'm very competitive in my payouts. I have a high converting offer. I have a team of, whoever virtual assistants or an affiliate manager, but like it's not moving. And it's like, okay, well, if all that is true, then it's usually a process issue where you don't have good process of retaining the top affiliate partners, good communication, a good recruitment strategy of, bringing in more partners, that you don't have good creative that you're rolling out on a regular basis, right? Like there's all kinds of things that happen around the process. And so for me, I usually strip it down to what's the program? How competitive is it? Are we designing it to attract the right type of people into our program? Secondly, do we have people internally and externally that make sense for the program? And third, do we have good process to, take away that kind of roller coaster effect in the revenue so that it's steady growth, month after month, year after year.
Gold, girl. That is gold. Look, brilliance. All right. So, last question is if a business owner follows those steps, has the process, has a competitive amount, where do they look for referral partners? So, for example, in my world, some of my best referral partners are other business consultants
Hmm.
because they want to be doing the sales or the branding or the marketing or their operations, and they don't want to touch the money. And so those
Yeah.
are the people that get thousands of dollars from me a month because they're doing the sales and the ops. And so they're like, here, Pam, you and your team go do the numbers. So for me, that's how I've found referral partners. But how do you explain to people where to start? Because a lot of people, when I started, said, oh, go to bankers and lawyers and they'll be great. No, bankers and lawyers are not great referral partners for me.
Yeah.
Like, how
I'm
do
sure
you?
a certain type of banker and lawyer would be, but not the vast majority of them, right? I think when you really start to think through it, it's like, do we serve the same customer avatar first and foremost? So I think kind of
That's
really understanding who is the customer that I serve, and then what other products, services, or vendors or, teams are they working with? Because that's kind of going to be the sweet spot. So just really spending time doing market research and talking to your current clients, I think is really smart. And just being like, hey, you know, who are you working with? What kind of coaches do you work with? What kind of marketing teams do you work with? Like, what kind of marketing are you doing? Like, just really kind of understand what kind of conferences do you go to? Like, kind of walk me through that. I really kind of want to get a good picture. And then you'll start to see trends of like who they're using and like what they're doing. And those would be the people that I'd start looking into, because the main thing when you're working with referral partners is like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Because if someone can send you one referral a year, I don't know, unless it's a huge amount of money for me. Whereas if there's somebody else who can send me, 10 referrals a month, that's probably going to be a better use of my time. And I always tell people, I'm like, why don't you just fly to where they are? Like, that was what made me really successful in my career. Granted, I don't have kids, so I'm going to preface it with I don't have that. So I could do a lot more of that when I was younger. I don't do it as much anymore because, I have them come to my events, right? So I have a built-in community for that. But like, when I was younger, I'd just be like, yo, there's someone I wanted to meet. Your name kept coming up. I'm going to be in the area, thinking about being there, between July 13th through the 31st. Are you going to be home at all at that time? I'd love to take you to lunch. And like that will get you farther than any Zoom meeting ever will.
Yeah.
Or having that warm referral from your client. If you've done a good job, I would ask my clients all the time, hey, are you willing to like make a referral for me, an intro? I'd really love to know this person. Their name keeps coming up. Seems like they're doing good work for you. And then once you talk to them, it's like really figuring out like I have a complimentary service to yours. It's
Yes.
not competitive. And here's how I see us working together. And why don't we do a couple test runs and you can see how I work and I'm willing to pay this and really figuring out like have you ever had a relationship like this before? How was it? What were the problems with it? What were the things that you liked about it? Because some people have horror stories, with partnerships. And so just really understanding like, okay, why did it go wrong? Or what happened here, and what were they paying and what did you not like about it? Like, because I see this issue all the time, especially in service providers. Like, they're trying to hedge their risk so much and they're like, well, we pay every 90 days. And it's like, why would you pay somebody every 90 days when you're cash collecting every 30?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that. Like, speed of money is so valuable. So if I'm going to get paid every 90 days from you and there's somebody who does just as good of service as you that's going to pay me every 30 days, like, why would I pick you?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like, or like, oh, we love working with Pam, but her assistant is horrible and so hard to talk to, and can't. And you're like, okay, well, we don't have that problem. I have two assistants or whatever. You can always get a hold of me. Or like, oh, we refer to this marketing company and the head of their business is everywhere on every stage doing everything. And then when we sign with them, they send us to this junior associate. Okay, well, we don't do that at our company.
Yeah.
We're a boutique firm, right? So like just really kind of understanding like what's going on in the landscape, or sometimes they've never done it before. They've never done a partnership before. So they don't understand like what being a good partner looks like. And I think that's kind of a training you have to do on your side where it's like, hey, the best referral clients of ours operate like this. When they're doing a call with a client and they're consulting with the client and this comes up, like this is what they say. And we give them pre-written scripts, pre-written emails, and this is the outcome that we're looking for. And this is the type of client that we're looking for. They're doing this amount of revenue, they're doing this. And then you have to train them on what you're actually looking for. I think a lot of people mess that up too because they're like a referral's a referral's a referral's a referral, and it's like, okay, well, this is a lot of times why I didn't work for you because you're like, I was on a bunch of sales calls with people that weren't my target market or weren't my ideal client. It's like, well, did you tell them what your ideal client is? Did you make it easy for them to introduce you? Do you have a good system to onboard them and bring them forward? Like, like what's happening here? And usually they don't, right? So I think that's the other part of like really painting that picture.
I love it. I love it. Such good information. And I agree 100%. The starting point is make sure your house is in order
Yeah.
for affiliates. And then the second thing is ask your clients who else they're dealing with
Yeah.
because their vendors can be your referral partners. Because
100%.
if they have a marketing, IT, tech, SEO, whatever firm, they're going to be working with other typical clients and then educating them on, as a referral partner, who you're looking for. Because I've had referral partners send me bogus clients. I'm like, just so you know, I'm really quick to jump on a call and be like, let me clarify our target client so that we can make sure that it's worth your time to make introductions. Because nobody wants to be sending over a referral and then the person receiving it is like, oh, that I can't help them. That doesn't help the relationship at all.
Yeah, 100%. And you can make them so easy for them too, where like you create a whole like SOP. It's like, hey, here's what we're looking for. We're looking for business owners that are doing over $5 million in revenue in these specific industries. These are the ones that we have the most success with, that might be struggling with, back payments to the IRS or might be struggling with this. This is kind of like our ideal client avatar. Should you find somebody in this, kind of area, then here's a pre-written email that you can just plug and play into your system. Send it over to us. We'll take it from here. And every month you're going to get an updated, Google Doc or whatever. If you're a service provider, it's easy to do this than if you're like an e-commerce company with tons of products going. But every month you're going to get a breakdown of all of our current clients that we're working with from your referral, all the ones that are currently in conversation and pending, what your payouts are. Here's how often we pay, like this, we're going to be doing the work on our side. Because here's the thing, like those are the people I love working with the most.
Yeah.
They're proactively every single month, like, hey, here's all the referrals that you've given us. Here's the lifetime payments that we've done. Here's who we're talking to right now. Here are the ones that are qualified, not qualified. Here's why it wasn't a fit for, here's why, and like even just recording like a something quick direct to camera, like, hey, I'm Pam. I'm really excited to meet you. You've been working with XYZ partners for many years. Helped, over the last 5 years, we've helped them save, $5.2 million in taxes. I'm really, well versed in your business, industry and blah, blah, blah. Here's a little bit about me, like we're really excited to connect with you. You just build these things out so that it's just like plug and play for them and you teach them like, here's what I'm looking for. So when they're talking to someone like, okay, well, they're only doing 600K a year. So maybe we need somebody else that's not Pam to recommend to work with them as an advisor. But
Yeah.
anybody that's at this level, we're going to get really good at clocking them. And then you're a top of mind every month. Like, hey, here's a breakdown of how it's going, what we're doing, who we're working with. Here's some success stories that we've had, over the last 6 months with some of your client referrals. Like, that's how you really build these relationships where they're excited to keep giving you referrals because you continue to stay top of mind and you make it easy for them.
I love it. I love it. Look, listeners, take notes, listen to it again. This is fantastic. This is how I've scaled to multiple seven figures is by doing exactly what Amber's talking about. People are always asking like, well, how did you get where you're going? This
Yeah.
referral partnerships, affiliates. This is how I've grown.
And doing good work though, because they wouldn't send you more clients if you didn't do good work. I mean, I think that's the ultimate test is do you get referrals? Do you get repeat clients? Do you have good retention? Because if you don't, affiliate marketing, partnership marketing, referral marketing might not be great for you until you fix that, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't like people. There are some people who just don't like people. Just figure it out. Be an algorithm queen,
Yeah.
work on getting your paid media in place so you don't have to talk to anybody. But like this is a people business. And you have to like people and you have to have good products. You have to do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. I love it. Amber, thank you so much for sharing all of this wisdom
Thank
with
you.
us. Where can people connect with you?
I always like to just give my email address. I love hearing from people. It's Amber at fourroomsmastermind.com. If you're a seven-figure plus business owner and you want to be around a community of other vetted entrepreneurs that want to be successful in business and in life, hit us up, fourroomsmastermind.com. Pam's one of our new crown jewels in our mastermind and very honored to have her. And yeah, always looking for like-minded people to share resources with.
Amazing, amazing. Amber, this has been phenomenal, amazing information that you're sharing. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you need help understanding your financials, just go to pamjordan.com to book a call with my team. And remember, it's not what you make that matters, it's what you keep.